I'm going to try, okay?
See what the drivers in the cars here are
Holy
going to
shit!
do.
You see how fast the pace car got out of there?
Oh my God!
Oh God! What is going on?
Oh my gosh! We've got a big accident here on
I'm
the.
gonna go ahead and. Oh
Yep.
God!
Oh no! We've got drivers upside down.
Is that a survivable thing?
I don't know that it. Well, they have the halo. These cars. Conan coming up on yet another driver he doesn't respect.
Careful, you're gonna psych Potato Lobster out there.
Rachel famously, of course, in two-wheel drive cars.
Left.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Onto gravel.
Oh yeah!
Oh no!
That was my bad.
To the forbidden zone.
We might wind up back on the road.
Wait, we are. Look to your right.
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're on the gravel.
Wait, what?
But they're back up.
Yeah.
Holy crap! They're still moving.
How is the car? Is it drivable?
So, Route 35 righty over kick
Oh,
and
holy crap.
minus left
They're gonna
50.
go for it.
Right kink don't. And
Oh,
So the Legends cars are rear-wheel drive, which means that as they transfer weight, they are gaining grip, and obviously the TCR cars are front.
and then there's this. Oh, the car's like popping into existence in the back there.
max press 50.
Yeah! All right. Now 629.
629.39 with a
my God.
massive accident. Yeah.
Moving on. The path for Space Beauties is somewhat more complicated.
We should put him on ice.
Space Beauties needs to invent time travel so he can go back to the beginning of the season to do better, preferably all the way back to when the dinosaurs raced go-karts.
You just had fun with AI for this one.
Sir,
Sir. No.
well, now you know why they put roll cages in convertibles.
Thank you so much for having us.
This is, hold on, sorry, we gave you the Oh, how did he get the pace on that? Is that Yelmo?
That looks like Yelmo.
Holy shit!
He must have had a hell of an exit on turn 7 there. But offside is not giving it up.
Oh,
no, he doesn't lift.
Offside. Oh, that's pretty. That's real pretty.
Let's go to the.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That's bonk.
Bring me the dirigible camera.
He actually might
Not a Kyle has something to do with it. He's within spitting distance.
Pretty aggressive.
Oh!
There's your shot, buddy. Space Ponies keep it together. Oh, he's not giving it up like that. Wow.
It's a great question. Would you like to see him enter the Brundle? That is what the turn is called.
It's not called the Brundle, it's called Brundle. If you put a the in front of it, it becomes something else entirely.
There's only one of them. Tonight on Tonight We Race. We race! We're just going to cut straight to the spectator camera here in the open qualifier for the cold open race. Shote, how you doing this evening?
Pretty good. What are we driving?
That would be the Volkswagen Jetta TDI Cup car from year 2009. The most safe, friendly, non-offensive Jetta ever. What is going on over there?
I don't know.
This isn't a view of race cars.
I'm asking for cameras and nothing's happening.
Let me go put it back into cameras. There we go.
That you should do.
Pod 2 is for Wrench tonight. We do not have a guest star this evening. That will change next week. Stay tuned. In the meantime, our 3 local pod drivers are out there and beginning their open quali. What they don't know, or rather what they have recently found out, is that we have added one remote driver this evening, one Casey Fox. And so far, Casey Knight. And so far what we are seeing is some really impressive lap times. Tech, could I get a cam on that, or are we still...
I hacked the Matrix.
No, we can definitely get you a cam on this.
Thank you.
That's so
This is
funny.
an open quali, and the
I think I got a lap
marbles
in the
are
middle of a lap.
pretty thick from earlier.
all
in the-
over the place.
Earlier in the practice. Look
After
at
the
that. Let's say generous usage of all the pieces of the track involved through the chicane there. I love this right-hander on the course. See it over. It's like a mini Sebring. You've just got all the asphalt you could possibly want for anything.
When I was driving it during practice, there were marbles on that turn, but there is no source for the marbles. Like, where did they come from?
Well, I mean, marbles are kind of one of God's gift to creation. They just kind of spun it. No, it's like road marbles come off the tires. Like gravel comes from traps.
So they dragged it from another source of rocks from across the map, or
I wouldn't put anything past these people. And as this is an open qualifier, I believe they've got, let's call it a minute 30 left. Let's see if we've got any times on the board that are worth talking about. I'm seeing 37 flat on Potato Lobster. I'm seeing Pod 2 still for rent. I'm seeing it looks like a 36.9 on Duffy as he takes a graceful, there's people coming. That's an easy way to get out of Casey Knight's way.
commentator's curse.
Yep, man, what do you gotta do? And looks like a 36 flat for Mr. Goat here. Tech, can you get me the
That's my
I'm
bad.
gonna say that's not clean laps.
This is what is a clean lap? We may never know. I love this right-hander. I don't love touching that wall while I'm making the right hand, but that's a different story. Can I get the standings, Tech? Thank you.
Oh.
Casey Knight at the top with a 35.2 as they come through here, followed by Dr. Gould with 35.5, and then a giant pile of AI, and then offside. As we are in a hosted open session for the cold open race, people's nicknames have not been carried through, and so you're going to see a lot of cruft there as we go. Looking at about 18 seconds left, and then we will figure out where we are going to watch the drama cam from in the cold open. Good evening, Michelle. How are you? Also, Casey's doing pretty fine. I'm not worried, actually. not even a little. Thank you for joining us. We are about to do the thing.
3 checkered flags on screen.
3 checkered flags on screen. Oh, that's adorable. Did they line that up on purpose? I didn't do that. Did you do that? They didn't do that. Actually, the livery options for the iRacing in-game livery modification options for the Cup car are basically non-existent. It's pick a color. So, Mr. Goat, you've also got a fan out here tonight.
Hey! Wow.
Yeah, no, there's things happening out there.
All right, here we go.
I was the fastest human.
Ah, you were out there at Road America. Casey sent some photos into the Discord. Those were really cool.
Man,
I
this
was-
is
All right,
fast
where are we watching
spot.
this from?
I was the fastest human.
These are all good spots. Let's take the start right from here. Duffy, you're on
Remember,
point.
there's no clutch.
There's no clutch, he
Bringing up
says.
the rear.
And green light. We are off on the cold open race. Lots of little front wheel drive rubber ripping off of the wheels as they go around. I want to keep making
there we go. There we go. Yeah.
You can't face that way. That's
All
not.
right, Tom, let's push through. Yep.
Tech, feel free to punch in when those happen. You've got the button for a reason.
A totally safe rejoin.
That's whoa.
Totally.
The Oschersleben C course is a little bit more appropriate for
sorry.
go-karts and other smaller vehicles, but this is an okay thing for the Cup car.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We're looking at the heels of the Casey Knight car here. That was one of the rear suspensions. And cutting and carving. It's probably worth pointing out that when we set up the AI in cold opens, they are always running at a 10 to 25% skill level. And so we don't expect fantastic things out of them, but every so often they surprise us. I will say that we turned on iRacing's adaptive AI feature, which is one of the reasons that we had to put 50 gig per pod in last night. The season 3 iRacing launch yesterday, obviously, or rather the software update. It's not actually 100% clear to me how. Whoop, there we go. It's not 100% clear to me how the AIs are adaptive now. Is that a Cialis car?
Huh. Yeah. Nice.
Well, that's... Oh, that'll make things exciting on track. Oh, that's nice and smooth through there. Let's go find some drama. This doesn't look like drama at all. What do we got here? We're going to follow Potato Lobster at the back of the pack. Potato Lobster turning in a 39, so he is obviously moving at race pace now and not as qualifying pace. That is not where that goes.
It's fine.
Tourist.
How many AIs did we add?
Somewhere between 18 and 30. It's probably 18.
There might be a gap in traffic to rejoin.
Do you want to know how I set up AIs in cold open races?
It just kind of...
I put the mouse on the slider and I close my eyes and then I come back.
Mm-hmm.
18 is the number.
It is 18? How about that? There you go. I let go when I was at the left end of the range. Getting the debris warning out here in Potato Lobsters. Let's pop back out to the quad. Tech, what can you tell me about what's going on?
I mean, everyone settled into a nice, clean race.
Can you get me some lap times? Casey Knight out in front with a 3:05 on the race. Looks like we've got bots at 1.5 and 2 seconds behind approximately. Can I get a rear cam on that? One of the things that we did in Season 4... Ah, perfect, thank you. One of the things we did in Season 4 is give the broadcast desk their own entire stream deck with all the views, and that occasionally comes in handy. I love that right-hander. It's like mini Sebring. I'm not a fan that there's no McDonald's out there, but that's the joke. Looking good.
I mean, if they parked one there, like, the race wouldn't happen. You just stop at the McDonald's.
Jeremy would like to know if Mr. Goat is wearing his shoes to match his car.
Yeah.
Those are pretty nice shoes, man. I think he brought the full leather today. Mr. Goat, known for his fine taste in motorsport accessories and also Ferrari branded luggage, which I suppose is technically a motorsport accessory. Mr. Goat stuck behind the VWMotorsport.com Pirelli car.
Isn't that Tom? Yes.
Tom is in the clean diesel. I guess you're all technically clean diesels.
Mine's cleaner.
Is this the era before or after diesels started injecting cat pee to make them cleaner? That's a technical question. I actually want to know the answer. Ooh, that's clean. Look at that. Nice pass. Tom doesn't normally allow those sorts of things. You can see him now nibbling. Yeah. The strategy becomes clear. That is good to know, Michelle. We try very much to make sure that the cold open race bears no resemblance to the feature races as kind of like a palate cleanser, and also B, fucks with people. I feel like that's kind of the whole point of everything. I don't think we have ever matched the brilliance of 4 touring cars versus 30 Legends cars in the rain on Scuba Short. That was also very hard on the hardware, so I don't know if we're going to do that again anytime soon.
That was the one with the like bots
Yeah, yeah,
appearing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole draw in, draw out thing there is very confusing. I still don't think we know what happened there. Let's go take a look at the standings here because we are sitting at, I want to say, 9 minutes on the clock for this one. Oh, not the studio camera, although, hello everybody, that's real time. There we go. Casey sitting on a 1 second lead over top of the AI Brian Rainville. Let's get a rear cam on that because that looks spicy. Look at that suspension
wobble.
wiggle. The thing that I like most about Volkswagens from this era is that all of their cars have faces, and they're almost all saying hi.
Huh.
With like a little dog wiggle. It's a good livery as well. Popping back out to the quad, looking for drama. I don't see any, but I do see a very intense-looking Duffy. Little wide, can hear the actuators going. Manages to recover it. But no drama to be found. Zooming back out to the spectator camera. One of my favorite editions of Season 4. Sir, you cannot park there. Through the slalom, brilliant use of the curbing. Car stays situated. We don't technically lock settings for these races, and so it could be a softer setup. I suppose we'll just have to ask.
Oh, like the car setup?
Yeah. Using the entire track is one of the key learnings in motorsport, and I think that we are seeing that here. Pause for refreshment.
Yeah, I think the aerial count shows just how short this track actually is.
It is 0.44 miles,
Wow.
which is small by motorsport standards, if I'm being honest. Obviously, the entirety of Oschersleben much larger. One of the things that we really enjoy on the show is wheel-to-wheel racing. And in order to get wheel-to-wheel racing, you can basically do two things. You can either add more cars, or you can subtract track. And in the cold open, we do both.
And yet somehow, clean air here.
Clean air. Well, it's like
Oh,
the thing
okay.
in, like, back in Season 2, when we ran SF23 for the entire season, like, you're out there doing 180 miles an hour, 170 miles an hour on a 3-kilometer or 3-mile course with, like, you're all spread out at like 1,000-foot increments. Like, it's great, but you're basically racing yourself.
What was all of that?
It's like Duffy might have had a minor dalliance.
I went full retard. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that.
I definitely got ran by the boner car.
That was not me.
I was involved with the boner car, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Cialis car is now
Mom
known
got
as the
a
boner car.
A boner car up the rear.
If that isn't someone's livery next
Yeah, I
week,
got
I'm
a
going to
little
be very
excited.
disappointed.
I mean, it isn't someone's livery this week. Did a bot show up with it?
We haven't
Put
made a
somewhere
dick
it shouldn't.
joke since Snetterton.
Wow.
Less than 5 minutes remaining on the cold open. Let's go take a look at the standings. Casey Knight out in front with a 1.6 second gap to the small pack of AI goblins before, I do believe that's tonight we race for. That would be Mr. Goat's pod. And there's the goblins.
There are my goblins.
You gonna put the moves on these guys, or what's the?
Yep.
All right. blood for the blood god. I'm satisfied.
That's the only move I got.
Cutting deep on the inside, getting a little bit of a Forza bump, and out the other side. I suppose that is how you gain position in a, let's say, contact relaxed.
Right.
That guy had blue eyes. It's a great place for drama here. Mr. Goat in the 7th position, but getting super aggressive with the AI in the final 3 minutes of the race. We're going to park it right here. He's making the right-hander. He's going to pick up one more position, but no more contact. Cuts back to the inside of the opposite. He is dipping and diving. He is dodging and weaving. Burning and yearning. He's doing all of the cake things. He's going the distance. He's... He's with me. He's going to pick up one more. Yes, he is. He's not going to get back to the inside for the next one, though. Yep, he's going to give that back up. Ballsy, though. And yet, for all of this, still somehow in 7th place. Let's zoom out. Oop, wrong one. There we go. Let's
Zoom
see.
all the way out.
Let's zoom. Straight to the back of the studio. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, is it broken? Did we break it? It's okay if we did. You should pull it up on your phone just to be sure.
Oh, well, I guess I could.
What happened? What I miss?
Someone rejoined the track and sent someone else off.
Sorry, we were dealing with a technical issue. I apologize. Casey Knight being followed by the United Colors of Benetton here. Almost taking lime green into that wall. Holy crap. Drain, you're getting your wish, buddy. Drain, a veteran driver from Season 1. Oh, that's going to be Duffy out and mowing the lawn. You okay there, buddy?
It's cold today here. I don't know why it's out.
He looks fine. So that was, it's fine then. All of them.
I mean,
okay.
it's up.
Good, good. That's all I care about. The numbers aren't important. It's the technical artistry that must be pure. Mr. Goat taking one more car. Ooh!
Oh, the wall.
That was eventually going to happen. But, you know, if you want a good time for it to happen, how about the last minute of a race?
That's always when I do my best work.
For all that drama, did not pick up the position. Green number 6 car, which I believe is Potato Lobster, now in the way. Oh, ooh,
I'm at 18.
Picks up the position now in 6. Drain, we miss you. You were always so dapper on camera. The first man to show up to Tonight We Race in a scarf.
True. Would probably be here instantly if we could race key trucks.
If we could race key trucks, I mean, this is about, no, the Solstice. The Pontiac Solstice is probably about as close as we get. No offense meant to Solstice fans. We love you too. I'm sure they exist.
Too hot. Wasn't it the winter time? It's going to be way worse now.
I will have you know that we have all of the climate control in the studio tuned to 68 degrees now. It is no longer a hot shop in here. We are approaching the end of the race, checking in on some lap times here real quick. Best 36.8 in Potato Lobster's Pod 1. We don't have that up currently on Pod 3, and we also don't have that up currently on Pod 4, so we will just, oh, there we go. It's 35.3, which is pretty slick. See that Mr. Goat has managed to pick up one more position in his final 60 seconds of racing in this very silly cold open. a second position. Oh,
Ooh.
oh,
Ooh.
does that count?
There is a checkered already.
They're gonna call that at 5, I think.
No, that's the line right there.
They're gonna call that at 5. So the thing about iRacing is that iRacing displays the checkered flag when the driver, in theory, could see the flag person waving the checkered flag ahead of them. It does not technically mean the race is over. It means the next time you cross the line in front of you, the race is over. And that's going to be...
The fastest quality time.
You did have the fastest quali time. That was quite a quali. That is going to be in our cold open race where literally nothing matters and no points are assigned. Casey Knight out in front in first, followed by a pack of 3 II. Ooh.
Bonk.
Wow. Followed by Mr. Goat in pod 4, and then the rest of the drivers. Let's get everybody out of here and get into the show. Welcome to Tonight We Race, Seattle's secret underground racing laboratory. I'm Meridian and the host of this silliness, and I'm joined in the studio by Shote tonight. How you doing, Shote?
It's me.
You. I have always wondered if you actually had the ability to reference a Shote face directly into a camera, and that is exactly what you just did. You had some time in the Cup tonight, did you not, or were you in the Jetta?
I was in the Jetta. It was.
What did you think?
I didn't know what the car was because I wasn't paying attention. I was
Were you disappointed to find out?
I was like, does this car go faster?
So that
Wait
is
a
the
minute.
VW Jetta TDI Cup. The model year, I believe, is actually 2009, and we have a couple things to say about the Jetta TDI Cup.
I think there's like 3 lines here.
Well, I mean, it's all the standard stuff. It's about 168 horsepower, but it is a TDI, which means that it has a big torque advantage in the low range, about 368 foot-pounds of torque, all of which is available between 1,500 and 2,500 RPM. Not the biggest power band ever. The neat thing about the TDI Cup being a low-cost entry into racing is it is about 70% stock to 2009 Jetta, the rest of which is obviously safety equipment and some upgrades to the transmission and suspension tuning. But at the time was a really cool way to get into motorsport if you do not want to race, for instance, a spec Miata. And Sarah's in. Lovely. Welcome back. And we took the cold open race to Motorsport Arena Oschersleben C course.
Such a small percentage of the total thing.
It is not the largest percentage, but the bit here, the gag, is that the complex 345, that is called the McDonald's chicane. And when we ran this track in season 3, we did the research and actually determined that there is no McDonald's at the McDonald's chicane. In fact, the closest McDonald's to Oschersleben at all is 13.2 miles to the southwest, which we were pretty disappointed to discover.
I bet they could get there quickly in these Jettas.
In the TDIs, you will note that no direct roads runs to that McDonald's. The next one's 50 miles out. This is what we do. This is what we do with our research time on Tonight We Race. Let's go through the news. And for the first time in quite some time, we are not going to talk about Formula One at all. We're going to talk about what we did last night, which is...
Oh, great.
The news for tonight is technically esports news. I only say that because I have to send this video off to the Patent and Trade Office to prove that we talk about esports. Season 3 just dropped for the 2025 edition of iRacing, and that has brought some cool stuff that we're going to talk about very briefly. But before we do that, let's talk about what is actually involved in upgrading a studio to a version of iRacing. These are commercial pods. They do not run a limited set of content. They run a full set of content, which means when it's time to update, they take every bit that has been updated within the primary content pack, which winds up being about 60 gig. And as you can see, we've got 4 pods back here and a spectator pod over there, plus the broadcast head. And long story short, we had to pipe about 250 gig in here in the late last night, which is fine until the downloader broke.
Ooh, yeah, that was fun.
There was a lot of command line work to actually get the show operational last night. It was very possible we would have had to scrub tonight. But enough about us. The Season 3 update brings the Ferrari 296 Challenge car, which is kind of a monster. You can think of it as a 296 GT3, except it's got something like another 200 horsepower and considerably less downforce. It is a how would I say this? A rich Playboy spec car. This is the sort of car where you fly out to the track in Italy, and then this shows up on a trailer for you, and your team gets out, and you do the thing. This is very much like you spend 25 grand a day in tires just to keep the thing operational. But if you're in that income bracket, it sounds like a wonderful machine, and you can drive it right here in iRacing.
I think the problem was that when I was racing the Jetta, that was the car that I raced immediately before. And I was like, wait a minute, I feel like there should be a few more gears here.
You're saying the performance envelope was slightly different. They've also added the Bend, which, if you are not familiar with it, is a relatively recent track in Australia that is famous for being able to basically run anything because it has a relatively complicated track layout in a west wing and an east wing, and then various variations of that. Would you like to see the Bend?
Is this a weather race?
Whoa. That's
35 is the number.
I see a lot more in the shaded gray.
I have a fun
That
message
seems
here saying
possible.
racing in
The
the rain
Bend
requires
is
advanced
the
graphics.
second
Holy shit.
largest permanent motorsport track
I don't
behind
think it's a
the
weather race.
Nordschleife.
We don't usually
So,
do that unless you messed up.
Are
the
we going to
settings.
put our racers on the Bend in a future season? No, absolutely not. Finally, one more thing, and this is relevant to our Season 2 drivers. Thank you for joining us again. The SF-23 is getting rain tires this season, so keep that in the back of your head. Let's talk about our drivers. Get off the screen. We are joined tonight by our local pod drivers in the Secret Underground Racing Laboratory. In Pod 1, Potato Lobster. In Pod 2, we are reserving for guest hosts and guest drivers this season, so the spot is temporarily unoccupied. In Pod 3, Duffy joining us again from Seasons 1 and 3. And in Pod 4, Mr. Goat joining us from Season 3. The look on his face in that Ferrari will never leave me. Let's talk. You could hear him in the green room. Let's talk about the standings for the season, since we are all the way into the second episode for tonight. The first thing I will call out before getting into the numbers is we are joined by a new challenger in the remote pods tonight. Casey Knight, a.k.a. K-Fox, joining us from the other half of the United States. We try not to dox people here, and we are thrilled to have you. And let's go see what you can do in the standings this season. We are in the second episode, which means we've got 2 races to get on the clock tonight. At the moment, it is Offside and Dr. Gould fighting for 1 and 2. Obviously, 2 podium finishes for Offside, making all the difference there. Something to note about bonus points. When you see a bonus point, it either means that someone clocked a fastest lap in a feature race, or it's a local driver that has picked up a challenge point between feature race 1 and 2, and of course we'll get to that later. Also, someone was very kind to me to point out in the pre-show that we actually built the season as a drop 1, but what we really meant to do is build the season as a drop a night, so you can just have family things to go do every so often. So we will instrument the drop 2 as soon as there are more than 2 races on the clock, which will of course happen tonight. So let's talk about feature race 1. We are of course in the Porsche 991 GT3 Cup Car 992 edition. For the entire season, and if you are a 911 fan, this is your first entry into 911 Motorsport. This is the rich dilettante car. If you have $250,000, you can get your very own cup car and take it to single-make races and drive it. I'm a fan of it because other than safety gear, roll cage, and some lightning, it's basically just a straight-up 911 GT3 with some tuning, which you yourself could also go buy these days also for approximately $250,000 and go out there and run with. And we are taking it to, as part of Cali Week, Willow Springs International, one of my absolute favorite tracks, not just because it's in California. Big Willow, as it's known, is actually going through some transitions right now. If you may recall from previous seasons, the ownership has just changed.
Huh.
And they are, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, going to turn it into a country club track, which I'm not super thrilled about, because Big Willow is kind of like, it's one of those entry-level motorsport parks where like everyone is welcome and all cars are welcome, and there's not a whole lot of like pit party culture at the track. But
sometimes takes
we'll see how it turns out. Still fun to race. Big fan of the sweeper, which depending on what car we're running, you can take flat out right until the decreasing radius. And I believe that brings us to our racers getting their act together in the pods. Oh no, what happened here? Duffy managed to find an Oscar Mayer Wiener shirt for his Oscar Mayer Wiener car. Oh my
Nice.
God!
I am all in on this.
Tech, can you do me a favor and advance them into the quali? I think we're ready. I had no idea. I have the best drivers.
I was burning up in the sweatshirt earlier, waiting for the reveal.
Let's wait for the
Next, you're gonna walk into the green room. There's just gonna be hot dogs in the fridge.
You know, if people want to donate hot dogs to the green room, like that's one of my favorite foods. I'm not embarrassed to say that. Looks like everybody has pitted in and is beginning their qualifier. And of course, in our feature races, we do a lone qualifier. We do not want anybody getting interfered with. Although, as I explained, Wheatie 500. we can do the Wheatie 500. As I've explained in previous races, the way iRacing does lone qualifiers is kind of weird. You're still in the same session with everyone at the same time. They've just removed the visibility in the collision boxes from all the other cars, and so you still get telemetry warnings of proximity and other weird things like that. And as you can see, they're all technically out there on the track, even though they are not. Can I get a gyro cam on the Oscar Mayer Wiener car? This is the look of a man who is committed to the bit. In his Oscar Mayer Wiener gloves, in his Oscar Mayer Wiener livery, wearing his Oscar Mayer Wiener shirt. I don't think we assign challenge points for just being awesome, but if we ever change that, this is the first one that's getting handed out. We do lone qualifiers as 2 over 10. There's 10 minutes on the clock, but you only get 2 hot laps. Let's go see one of those hot laps. Green, green, green. Audience Choice Award for Best Fit. I mean, we could do that, but right now it's just Duffy. All you're just saying is it's the Duffy Award.
I don't know. There was some shoes on Mr. Goat.
It's true. It's true. One of my favorite questions on the so there's a sim racing subreddit on Reddit, and there's a Discord attached to that. One of my favorite questions on that Discord is, what kinds of accessories can I get for driving? Which always sparks some great conversations about
luggage.
Luggage, about shoes and gloves and other whatnot. Turns out the supreme hacks for footwear for sim racing, boxing shoes.
Huh.
They cost almost nothing.
Yep, I blew my first lap.
They have the perfect heel profile, or like a foot pad.
Turn 2.
And you can get up and punch someone.
Yeah, right after turn 2.
I suppose you can get up and punch someone afterwards. Taking a look at well, we're being bounced around here. Oh, that seems. Mr. Goat taking a non-standard path through turns 5 and 6. Did he manage to get a quali in before that? No, that's not a. Well, the good news is they give you one more. Great. Potato Lobster turning in a 121.188. We have the first time on the clock. Pulling back out. Oh, those standings? Thank you. It's like we are sitting on a 117.7 from Casey. We are sitting on a 119.9 from the Utah crew, of all people. Ooh. That's hot. Utah crew, one of the sufferers of the packet loss CPU flag warning that is new in this iRacing patch. Hopefully they'll have that knocked out tomorrow. But in the meantime, he is driving with all the things flashing and saying his computer sucks, which is not fun. It's not fun for anyone.
It's like the low tire pressure.
Yeah, it's just like TPMS going off. It's like, well, the car's still working. Salt, salt, salt. Let's check in on Oscar Mayer himself here. Was Oscar Mayer a real person?
Dare I dive the internet for that information?
Let's save that one. We may not like what we learn. Oh my goodness. The chort. We are seeing more times turned in here. We are waiting for Duffy to turn in this flyer. In the meantime, we've got another 1.7. That's the same 117.7 from Casey. 118.7 from Offside, 119.9 from the Utah Crew, and 121 from the Potato Lobster. Duffy turns it in, 124.7. Nice. On a car he first drove this season on a track he's never seen before. Love to see it. What's that bring us to? We're waiting for one more. Did you bin it? Are you toasted? Are you telling us to advance the session?
I've turned it in yet.
All right. Bring it.
Pretty close times.
Very close
117
times.
to 124.
Oh, apparently.
I am always happy when people are putting it together. Very nice, sir.
Okay.
As the drivers grid in for the first scoring race of the night.
Good race, everyone.
Good luck. Rubber side down.
Isn't the wing made of rubber, though, or parts of it?
Was this the one where we had flips?
Oh, the helmet's car's out. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh!
Nice.
Oh! Dr. Gould's brilliant Hellman's car. The Mayo is on the track tonight. We offered everyone a challenge point for doing a food car. No, we didn't offer them a challenge point. We said that if there are any ties in the standings this season, food cars win. Food cars break all ties.
But what if they're all food cars?
Casey Knight making an early move in turn one. Let's get the... give me a suspension left cam on Casey. Sorry, suspension right cam on Casey. Thank you. Gotta check in on Mr. Goat because he's got a great view of the pack here. Right hand up and back down hard. Here they go. And flowing into the left-hander of turn 5, which I bin almost every time at this speed. Who's running the Golf livery? That's beautiful. That would be Utah Crew. Very nice Utah
Mike.
Crew. I'm popping over to you.
Oh no, my worst fear. What happened?
Ah, there we
I
go.
hit the fucking
Dr.
same-
Gould still out in front, but Casey coming up hot and
Thought you were gonna say
fast.
you got
That's going to
passed
be a
by me.
flip. How fast can you get that flip for me?
This is the one
I'm
thing
seeing
I didn't want to
frantically
have
typing
happen.
over there.
Yeah, you're in a big
And
deal
that
out
is
there.
the pass. Casey
Yeah,
Knight
you're
out in
toast.
front. Let's get a chase cam or a copter cam on that. Thank you. Perfect.
Oh, I sure fucked that up.
This may be the fight of the race to watch. They are taking interesting and complementary lines through here. Dr. Gould definitely not wanting to give it up on pace, but he's trying to find his position through the downhill and the left. And now, will their courage hold through the sweeper? Or is that not even where we are? I need to zoom out. There we go. Thank you. Sweep, 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 sweep.
So is this a car that can do this flat out the entire way?
Not the entire way. You definitely have to either have the perfect line and lift or tap the brake to get the nose to dive, to get the fronts to connect, to come back around there. Like it's a turn where there's enough runoff that you can miss it, but not enough runoff that you can miss it. Not the least of which because all the area past that is sand, and there is a Skyrim style invisible wall out past that. And
I remember this.
Oh shit! What happened out there?
Sorry.
Oscar Mayer Wiener
I got
car.
taken out by the weed car. I think we need to do a blood test.
You got to catch him first, man. Duffy out for vengeance and a blood test. Blood tests on Tonight We Race are not legally binding.
Problem is, I'm not high.
Back out to the quad. Potato Lobster about to enter the sweeper. Let's see how he handles it. Flat, 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 flat. Little breaking back in. He didn't go quite as wide as he could have there. Probably could have held another couple miles an hour through there. But all in all, an excellent run through the sweeper. Oop. Checking in on Dr. Gould in the Hellman's Mayonnaise car. It looks like he is keeping somewhat of a pace on Casey. There we go. That looks like about a second and a half.
You're telling me they want to make this a country club?
Yeah, like...
Looks kind of deserty.
Dr. Gould maintaining a healthy separation. We're going to call that 2 seconds, and that is followed by... That's zoomed way the hell out, man. That's way out there. Can you tell the chopper to get in there?
I think that's the blimp.
I mean, don't... As Goals would say, bring me the dirigible cam.
116.
Wow. Wow. The hits keep coming. If we're going to compare fastest laps here, it looks like Casey's got about a little bit, well, actually almost exactly a tenth of a second. And so, you know, that, or is it, sorry, is that 2/10 of a second? 2/10 of a second, which does add up over time. Mr. Goat doing his left-hander uphill and bringing it back down into...
This is the Budweiser or something?
He just left the Budweiser balcony, and he is now in the unnamed Turn 5. Apparently, Turn 5 was not cool enough to get any sort of name attached to it.
How much did they pay for that?
Budweiser? I don't know, man. This is the 80s.
Oh, so nothing.
This is before naming rights became like this giant freaking thing. As we will find out later when we go to Laguna Seca / Mazda Raceway / WeatherTech / Monterey County Racetrack. That's probably not true. It might have been true once, though. And this is the thing that happens when everybody's got their own pace. Everybody is kind of out there in their own fight now. Let's go see if we can find someone that is in the cut and thrust of it. Looks like we've got
5 and 6 and 1 and 2.
5 and 6. That looks like Slackware and the Utah crew being caught up to by the Weed car. Casey Knight now beginning to make passing traffic and zipping by Duffy, who honored his blue flag, recommended in iRacing, not obligatory, according to the sporting code. I feel like I should have a top hat on when I talk about the sporting code.
And a monocle.
Well, or just a monocle. My vision's good enough that I could get away with it.
Oh, I can't. I can't see anything.
That may impact his lap time.
Fix the blue flag, though.
Potato Lobster out there with, am I reading that right? An incident count of 1. Exactly 1.
And a 120.
And a 120. That's pretty sweet. One of the best things about this format is we get to see people improve over the course of a season, and I love seeing clean racing. To be clear, I love seeing collisions more, but you take what you can get. It's like cars 3 and 7 are up. Never mind. Looks like cars 4 and 7 are. Nope, never mind. I'd say something like the Oscar Mayer Wiener car has it in for the weed car, but these two should be natural allies, honestly. Can you think of any faster munchy food than hot dogs? And there he goes. Offside pulling ahead, although not in contention for the position. Let's check in on the standings here and take a look at some lap times real quick. Thank you. Sitting approximately halfway through our race here, and we are looking at Casey Knight with about a 2-second lead on Dr. Gould, and then 25 seconds to Mr. Goat. Mr. Goat in a position to podium, which is going to do nice things for his standings. Let's check in on him. And then give me like front cam on Dr. Gould when you have a moment, and just punch it through. Thank you. I forget which one's the stabilized one.
And
Gyro's
my
the
tires
stabilized
are
one,
toast.
right? Yeah, give me gyro. That is weirder than roll cage. Give me roll cage. Thank you. What? Don't
I just have it.
don't threaten me with that. Guy pulls out the fuck up clicker and holds it up for the camera, then sets it back down again.
I was asked where the clicker was.
We have already used the clicker before the show started. Thank you. Thank you for your concern.
Oh yeah, that didn't count because the AI did show up eventually.
You saying we have to roll it back? No, you can't roll it back. It does not roll back. Because, and work with me here through this tautology, fucking up the clicker is a click.
Ah, well.
Eat that, Phil 101. We're at 8 minutes and 10 seconds, give or take, in feature race 1. At the moment, it is looking like Casey Knight's race to win. However, Dr. Gould sitting, I want to say, at 2 seconds behind. Can I get a Dr. Gould cam? You can leave this. Oh, no. Oh, he's out to 14.6 now. What happened there? Bring me the Hellman's Mayonnaise car.
Hellman's mayonnaise car.
Yeah, he is not in traffic right now. I'm guessing he had a minor slip of aggression to pull back in.
Maybe it wasn't that bad.
Possible. All right. Anything is possible at this point, but Casey's going to be able to dial back the race pace now and basically victory by not fucking up, which is a fun way to win a race. Which means we're out for the drama cam. Potato Lobster catching up on offside. Ah, notable. Zero drop frames, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever overloaded an encoder before. Let's, just for the sake of argument, let's bounce this. And reactivate it. We'll have to go back through the footage and see what happened there later. It's always something.
Yeah, no, I think it's when we pull up the quad.
Oh, you think what you're not seeing what you're not seeing when you see this display is how many simultaneous NDI network sources are being composited here to make this view possible. And although this is a top-end i9 of the 14th generation, complete with all the curses that go with that, every so often we overpower what is possible on consumer hardware.
But it didn't show up that time.
No, I have no answer. It's something different every show. Everybody deep in their own personal battles here. Looking at best lap times. Mr. Goat sitting on a 119.7. Casey just turning in a 116.6. That is going to change the math slightly. Dr. Gould's previous pace about 0.2 of a second off Dr. Gould's current pace, now about 0.4 of a second off.
Ooh, rumble strips.
I always get concerned when you change the performance monitor setting to CPU. What's up?
Well, I was
Okay.
I'm looking for why that
all
message
right.
is popping up.
What I see is 15 cores doing nothing. That's what I see.
I'm looking for the core that's like, I'm really unhappy right now.
Gonna have a talk with the CPU when we're out of here.
I was promised performance, not efficiency.
Is this what Threadripper is made for? Should we be running a Threadripper on this thing? Yes, that's AMD is not my world. I don't know how that world works. Yeah, what's the answer to that question? Our technical staff is saying yes to the question, so we want a Threadripper here. Well, this machine has 3 years of depreciation on it, so when it's unless someone wants to buy it off me. Is it CPU 10? Did you find the naughty CPU?
Well, I mean, these two, 8 and 10.
All right.
And 2?
We will have a stern talking to them after the show. Let's check in on the Oscar Mayer Wiener car. He's in traffic with Potato Lobster 4 seconds off, but there is no contention for that position due to an unfortunate earlier spin out. Every time I look over at chat now, I see "Show it, do you have the clicker?" and it is making me very paranoid.
Look, I didn't do it.
I'm opening a liquid death.
Mine's already open.
That's where we are. Liquid death, a beverage.
Why don't we have one of those cars?
A liquid death car?
Oh, yeah.
There, if you peruse trading paints, there are liquid death cars, but there are not liveries for the Cup car, the 911 Cup car in liquid
Sad.
death. Which I suspect we could probably... I happen to know an enterprising individual with liveries now. We could probably contract that work out.
Maybe next time I'm driving.
Checking in with tech. What do we got?
Show us what kind of numbers.
Everybody is really well spaced. Dr. Gould's gap on the number 1 car has widened to about 15.8 from 14.4. And so I don't think he's going to get what he's looking for there. 2 minutes remaining. Let's check in with all of our drivers. Mr. Goat, you've got another fan. Reza's in the house. I'm actually really impressed you didn't bin that. Well,
At the same time, yeah.
most of our drivers run at 15 Newton meters, and this is not a car you want to one hand on 15 Newton meters. This is how he dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
That turn has collected faster drivers than you, my friend. Speaking of collection, let's see how flat we are through the sweeper. Big green line, big green line. Moving all the way outside. Little lift, little brake tap, settle on the nose, and big green line. Love it. That is what I like to see. Maybe with a little bit of an earlier shift. It's hard to say on the Cup cars. They continue generating power all the way up to the red line.
And a 119 on that.
That was actually his fastest lap. That was great. Is this the opposite of the commentator's curse?
Something
Something
Just
like
give it
that.
time.
Minute left. We should start seeing white flags here any minute.
White for surrender. Yeah.
The racing surrender flag. Your insurance has run out. Please bring the car home flag. Wonder what. I was going to ask a dumb question, which is I wonder what track day insurance looks like on a 911 Cup, and the answer is there's no such thing. Your track day insurance for a Cup car is your bank account. This is going to be a very smooth finish here. Look at that. Back on the throttle. The deceptive entry into the camber switch here for the left-hander. And setting himself up for the sweeper. That's going to be time. We should see the flags here any second. It may just promote him to checkered immediately. That may be where he is on the track. Big lift, little brake tap. Very nice, very nice. That may be a fastest lap for him. Was an excellent lap regardless, and there's his white flag. Also seeing one on Mr. Goat. Finishing strong. What's the sitch out in spectator land? Dr. Gould holding steady at 15.5 on pace, but that is going to be how the cookie crumbles this time around.
That would have been a really good battle until the end.
Yeah, we were having a great fight.
Yeah.
I got to remember to mute and unmute
Oh, I
Discord
wish I wouldn't
audio
have
this
flown
time
off the
through,
track.
Trailer challenge.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't help either. Well, I got back up to third, so that's all right.
Duffy finishing strong. There's his checkered. Very nice.
Good race.
Mr. Goat picking up his checkered. Excellent. Duffy about to cross through and pick up his checkered. Let's see, is he doing that thing where like you didn't technically cross the finish line? Or maybe everyone else. Yep, there we go. Yep. Cool. All right, let's see how it broke down. Casey Knight out in front for the full 25 championship points victory in feature race 1 for the night, followed by Dr. Gould. At the end of the race, 14 seconds off, not bad, made up some time, and then offside. Mr. Goat, Potato Lobster, the Utah crew, and Duffy. All in all, a fantastic race. Let's send everybody back to the green room, and let's do the thing that we do after we send people back to the green room.
Bonus points.
Which is bonus points. Where's the deck? There's the deck. It's time for the Bring a Trailer Challenge, and if you are new to Tonight We Race, the Bring a Trailer Challenge is the thing that we do to give all the racers some downtime and give everybody an opportunity to pick up 1 league point for their efforts by answering a very simple question: which of these 2 Bring a Trailer entries that finished, the auction completed, within the last 24 hours went for more money? And we are going to start with Potato Lobster. Bring him to me.
I'm here.
You're already here.
I know it.
Waiting for it.
Pull up a chair.
Oh, right. What do you have for me tonight?
Right up to the mic. Well, first, before that, how was your race?
Oh, fantastic. I really benefited from other people yarding it on that.
I too take pleasure in the pain of others.
I am not below it.
Here's what I got for you. Let me get the clipboard out. So actually, buttons.
Buttons everywhere.
There we go. I actually need my notes for this one. You are getting tonight either
Martini.
a 2009 Porsche Cayenne GTS, and this is the real important 6-speed.
Ooh.
Or a 47,000-mile 1988 Porsche 928.
You mean the best Jeremy Clarkson Porsche story of all time?
I see you've seen that story too. Let me bring up. Why can I not find? Oh, because I put them in backwards.
Well, the game's made up.
Yes. So the 2009 Cayenne GTS, and so let's just bag on the Cayenne a bit.
Okay.
It is the sport utility vehicle, but
I think you mean the car that saved Porsche.
it is the car that saved Porsche.
That's right.
So you know the story, as do many motorsport people. The GTS was the biggest of the engine configurations before you got into the Cayenne turbos.
Did not know that.
And it is in fact a 6-speed manual.
Outstanding.
It is a real 6-speed shifter, and I've even got a picture of said same gear shift.
Ooh.
In the middle there.
Nice interior on the 9.4.
Yeah, let's. Man, I'm really having trouble with buttons today. Let's get us out of the way here. Yeah, so both of the cars with fantastic interiors. Let's talk about when it was in its original form. It was a 405 horsepower, 369 foot-pound, 4.8 liter V8. So a big engine. This one's got 144,000 miles on it, which is kind of a lot for a Cayenne. Finished with black martini-style stripes, which are stunning, I admit. A front-runner roof rack, a Wilco rear tire hitch. Carfax lists damage in November 2013, and the rear bumper cover shows signs of having been refinished, so it probably got rear-ended. This is common because these cars can stop very, very quickly, usually faster than the cars behind them can. Selling dealer notes condensation visible in the left headlight lens, and whatever.
Classic.
6,600 RPM redline, power routed to all through wheels, through a 6-speed manual, dual range transfer case, variable center differential, clutch master cylinder replaced in June of 21, disc and pressure plate replaced in December 21, and then the clutch slave cylinder replaced in August 22. And so basically, over the course of a year, all of the clutch pieces failed, and then they put all the clutch pieces back on it.
Sounds like a well-used family hauler.
Sounds like with a manual transmission.
With a manual tasteful family hauler.
The 928, on the other hand, I'm going to be honest, not the best look of a car that Porsche ever put together.
Beauty's in the eye of the beer holder.
It's true, and I was surprised to learn that there is a huge 928 community out there.
Doesn't surprise me.
People adore this car. This one has a 5-liter dual overhead cam V8, 4-speed automatic transaxle. It is finished in silver metallic over linen leather upholstery. Let's see what else here. Vented disc brakes at each corner, rear stabilizer. The steering rack itself was rebuilt in 2019. The brake pads were replaced in 2020. It's got 2 rear buckets, full air conditioning system that's been retrofitted to R134A. Leather wrap steering wheel. The 6-digit Odo reads 47,000 miles, 5,000 of which were added under the current ownership. At the factory rating, 316 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque. Water pump, fuel injection module, and hoses replaced in 2019, 2023, and 2025, respectively.
Okay, both reasonably serviced.
And I do have to say, the interior of both of those cars is okay. So maybe not the triangle,
got me some water and
steering wheel
bowl.
on
Should
the
be good
Cayenne,
now.
but those are.
It almost makes up for it with those handles there, though.
Yeah,
Down the center console. They've got the.
Well, that's the thing. It's a fully capable off-roader.
You got the panic handle.
Off-road in that car.
That's right.
And now, you have to tell me which one of these two cars went for more money.
Oh man. Okay, I'm based on mileage and Jeremy Clarkson's love. I'm going to go with the 928. For better or worse.
Potato Lobster says the 928. Does chat say the 928? Does
Cream
the
interior.
Does the green room say 928? Green room being remarkably silent through this segment today.
Uh-oh.
That's usually not a good sign. Let's see what the answer is. It's the Cayenne.
Oh.
And let
They
me
both
tell
went for a lot, though.
let me tell you why. That is a unicorn car.
Because of the 6-speed.
It is a manual transmission, naturally aspirated V8, all the bells and whistles off-roader that can still smoke approximately half the cars on the road in a straight line.
You're right. There is the would buy factor, and I'm probably in the Cayenne camp. But
I'm just not a 928 guy.
fair enough. Apparently the poly market spoke the same way.
Yeah. So here's the deal. No winners, no points. However, as per agreement at the beginning of the season, your failed point goes directly to the Utah crew.
That's right.
Congratulations, Utah crew. You're on the board for a challenge.
It's cool. I beat him in race 1.
Bring me Duffy. Oh, catty bitches. Derek, good evening. You thought it was the 928 as well. Dude, that thing is a unicorn. One of the themes of tonight, and this was totally accidental, is this is cars Conan has owned. And Conan did, in fact, have the manual Cayenne. Duffy, welcome back.
I am back.
How was your drive? You not feeling it?
It was a drive. I got a little high on the horse after last week because I had a really great night, and tonight.
So I note that last week you drove cheater path off.
Yeah.
And tonight you drove with it on.
Yeah, and I'm now mixed about whether I need it there or not. But definitely, it did all of the cup car things to me tonight. I got in the throttle too much.
Differential locking of the
and
brakes, yeah.
Not as much of that, thankfully, but yeah, it was humbling.
Here's what I have for you tonight. What do I have for you tonight? There we go. You're gonna like this. Coyote-powered 1972 Ford F-250 4x4 conversion.
You are talking my language here.
And you do, in fact, know that Coyote-powered anything tend to do pretty well on this show.
Yep.
Or
take that thing to the drag strip.
A 64 VW Type 2 in pickup configuration.
Yeah. Does it have a Porsche engine in it?
I mean, technically. Let's talk about your cars. Here is a rear shot. And I try to always do the same photo for each of these, but it turns out that the VW has a party trick that I had to show you.
Oh, yeah.
Check
cabana
that out.
mode. Holy shit.
Right? All right, let's talk. But I mean, also, the interior of that 72 Ford is very nice. Let's talk about why. So the 250, this is a 72. Though it has 31K on the Odo, the total mileage is unknown, probably due to the fact that it has been replaced with a 5-liter Coyote V8 and a 6R80 6-speed automatic transmission sourced from a 16 Mustang GT. Additional details include a new limited slip rear differential, 17-inch wheels, 4-wheel disc, which was definitely not standard on the F250 of that year. The Coda digital gauges, no reserve, deluxe Marty report.
Wait, is it 4-wheel drive or is it just a tall 2-wheel drive?
Well, so that's the interesting thing here. It does appear to be 4-wheel drive. Power sent to the rear of all four via the automatic, and then there is a Dana 24 divorced transfer case and drive shafts from Tom Woods. So it looks like they they manually made it a
probably started as a 2-wheel drive truck.
Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, some considerable care has been paid to the interior here. This all got refinished. It was Wimbledon white from the factory, but then it got repainted under the previous owner. It's had all new vinyl installed in the interior, diamond stitching, et cetera, et cetera. Aftermarket sound dampening material, because apparently it's loud as hell with the Coyote engine in it.
Imagine that.
The Type 2 from 1964 says 3,000 miles, which we are almost positive cannot be possible. It has a 1776 cc air-cooled flat 4 linked to a 4-speed manual transaxle. It's got gear reduction boxes on both of those. I don't know what that actually means. Is that like it's got a final drive, or I'll have to do some research there. Izzy's Safari-style front and rear windows, radio delete plate lap belts, overhead ventilation unit, stainless steel vintage speed exhaust. Purchased in 25 and now being flipped with a jack, a church key, and an Arizona title in the current owner's name. Cab has split bent seats trimmed in gray vinyl. Additional appointments include a radio delete plate. We talked about that. S-shaped shifter extension. And the seller believes that the interior has not been painted. I don't know why they believe that. They can probably check.
Yeah, that's verifiable.
It's got a Bosch 09 distributor, single port cylinder heads. It took a trip to competition engineering in Arizona, and it has an electronic ignition module. It is a 4-speed manual rear-wheel drive, and it has a cabana mode, which is pretty cool. And now, you have to tell me which of these two cars
this
went
one's
for
tough.
more money.
Growing up, my dad had a 74 Ford F-250, so I'm kind of partial to the Ford, but I think just raw number of collectors out there, I think it's the Volkswagen. I'm going to go Volkswagen.
Duffy says the Volkswagen. Derek says the Volkswagen. Sarah would like us to thank Volkswagen. I agree. And the green room is snickering, which is never a good sign. So let's go ahead and hit the button here and see what happens. It was the Coyote by 17 grand.
That is ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And the only thing
That's not $60,000 in parts.
Right. Like the only thing that ever loses to, or the only thing that the modified Coyotes ever lose to on the show are G-Wagons, frankly.
Yeah.
There's a clear hierarchy of off-road truck on this show.
I'm very confused why they didn't just build a hot rod, though, and why they did this to a 4x4.
I got nothing.
You know, whatever.
No points for you. We got to go figure out where your point goes. And then bring me Mr. Goat. I did adore that VW. That thing's beautiful. Welcome back. How was your drive?
It's amazing.
You got a little bit of a fan club out there tonight.
Well, you know, I do it for the fans.
I think you were going to enjoy this one.
I'm excited.
It's
another Targa.
A 911, or excuse me, a 911 996 generation.
Yep.
911 Targa. That is a 6-speed manual, and it is up against tonight a 34,000 mile Benz SL65. Would you like to hear about the cars?
Please.
Let me tell you all about the cars. This is a 996 911, so of course this was the first generation where they started water cooling the engine instead of air cooling the engine, and of course Porsche purists decided that it was no longer a real 911.
It gets a lot of hate.
Which is what happens after every 911 is released.
Yeah.
It also gets a lot of hate for the headlights, arguably, or rather alternately referred to either as amoebas or fried eggs, depending on who you ask.
How do you like the 996? Is this a car you enjoy?
Let me tell you, I'll give you the answer to that question in just a second, because we also need to talk about the intermediate shaft bearing.
IMS, yeah.
Which is the fatal Achilles heel in almost every 996 generation that rolled off the line. When the intermediate shaft bearing goes, the engine goes, and then you've got a lot of expensive German dead steel. Do I like the 996? Let me tell you a very, very brief story. One day, Conan bought a 996 911 right after I bought my 991.2 Carrera S.
Okay.
And we got together in San Francisco, and we drove them together down to Monterey, or almost to Monterey.
That's a dream trip.
On Skyline Drive.
Yeah.
And we traded cars back and forth. That is a 911. It handles like a 911.
Yes.
It feels like a 911. It's just the ugly duckling.
Okay.
And so let's talk about the intermediate shaft bearing, because that one was replaced at approximately 100,000 miles.
It made it that far.
It made it that far. It is the Targa, so of course the middle of the roof comes off. It's got the Carrera 2 wheels at 18 inches. It has all the standard amenities, a 7,200 RPM redline, 200 mile an hour speedometer. It was producing 320 horse and 273 foot-pounds at the factory. It's got enormous rear tires, and you can throw it at literally anything. As far as replacements are concerned, IMS was done by the LN engineering team. Radiator was repaired and the cap was replaced in June of 24. And engine oil and the camshaft position sensor were replaced in 25. 6-speed manual.
Great.
Get us out of the way here. Oh, here's some pictures.
Ooh.
That classic 911 silhouette. And I'm not a huge fan of the SL65 from the rear, at least with the top up anyway. And then, of course, the interiors, which are the excellent representations of their style, although I will note that the SL, and honestly everything in the Benz lineup from this generation, likes to pretend it's a manual transmission with the shift knob. These are, of course, all automatics and dirty automatics of that. The SL65, thank you. This is a 2006. It's got only 35,000 miles on it. It's remained registered in California until this year. It is the infamous twin-turbo V12. It is a massive, massive engine with many, many cylinders, mated to a 5-speed automatic transmission. It's finished in black over gray. Equipment includes power retractable hardtop panoramic glass roof bi-xenon headlights. Basically, like you don't buy the SL65 and then not buy all the accessories.
All
you
the
buy all
boxes.
the accessories.
Yeah.
So, command navigation, which is a horrible system.
I agree.
Acquired by the selling dealer in 25, now being flipped with a Pennsylvania title, which I suppose makes sense. Fog lights, AMG bodywork, paint meter readings, yada, yada, yada. Active body suspension control, electronic stability program, heated and ventilated everything. A 220 mile an hour speedo, which we know is not true, but it does have an awful lot of horsepower, namely 604 at the factory and like 730 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
Monstrous.
Monstrous.
Absolutely monstrous. But it might win a drag race. It does not go around corners.
Yeah. And if that suspension breaks, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
And so what we have here basically is a 30-year-old odd, or a 20-year-old odd 911. But the big thing that can go wrong with it has already gone wrong and been fixed.
Yep.
And a 20-year-old SL65, which was $170,000 odd car when it was new. And that is what your parts are going to cost.
Yeah.
Like it's a tough call. Notably, the SL65 does not come with any maintenance notes.
Great. I mean, for my money, I'm buying the Targa, but I don't know if it's worth more money. That's hard.
One way or another, you need to answer that question.
I'm going with the Targa.
He's going with the Targa. Rella is also going with the Targa. Rella, I can see your nick now, so I can actually call you Rella and not have to remember that you're Derek when you're on YouTube. That's very nice of you. I don't see any other votes, so here we go. The answer is... we get back to the safety slide. I don't know what happened there. There we go.
That's what I was afraid of.
It's the SL65.
And somebody wants that.
Somebody wants that. And I can tell you what, I can say pretty confidently that they made the wrong decision. Well, I mean, it's not like they were up against each other, right? But like, I would pay $27,000 for that 911.
Yeah, me too.
If I had space in my life for a 911 right now, I would just go buy that car.
I think the 996 Turbo might be the best deal in used cars right now.
Yeah?
It's great. All-wheel drive, about that price. You can get the IMS bearing fixed.
The suspension isn't particularly hard. You can take it up to the mountains. You can go to Crystal with it. Well, that would be 3 failures in a row for the crew tonight.
Oof.
And so we're going to leave with no winners, no points. That means I have 2 challenge points. I got to figure out where to go assign them. And we are going to kick you back out and give you some practice in your pod and get the shote back in his seat.
Ooh, do we get to reallocate points?
We have to reallocate 2 points tonight, which means that people can begin begging in Discord for different different long-term strategies for how we're actually going to assign them. Any surprises?
I think the second one, the truck versus the van, that was surprising.
I don't understand people's like fascination with like the old 70s Fords and just like, hey, I just ripped the Coyote engine out of a crate. I'm going to go cram it into this truck. Like, it appeals to someone, definitely. It just doesn't happen to be me. All right. It's time for Feature Race 2. We are, of course, still in the exquisite 911 GT3 Cup. Nothing has changed from Feature Race 1, as you might have guessed, but we are taking them to one of the more famous motorsports venues on the planet, namely WeatherTech Raceway, formerly Mazda Raceway, formerly Laguna Seca, formerly, etc., etc. And I think that Laguna, both by virtue of its age and also by virtue of being physically near game development studios in the era where it was hyper popular, is one of the reasons why Laguna was always in every video game that involved racing in every way. That, and also, of course, the corkscrew, which is one of the most challenging turns in all of motorsport, up there at turn 7 and 8. And I do have it on good authority that a number of our drivers tonight have actually never driven the Cup on the corkscrew. And so we're going to show that to you here in just a second. Why wouldn't we? Uh-oh. Oh, no, it fixed itself. Okay, I was going to say, if we're having frame problems at the end of the show, I'm going to be very unhappy with myself. Yeah, we're getting some chunking on Mr. Goat's pot. I don't know what's going on there. Nope, still sitting at about 1.3 gig. All right. We have some happy... Ooh, he caught that. Very nice. We have some happy lap times being turned in just out here in practice. We've got Casey Knight sitting on a $1:25 and change. Dr. Gould on a $1:26.6, offside of the $1:27.3. And a little bit of vibration from, sir, the track is in the other direction. Can you take the pit exit from there? Guess if they don't flag you, you can do anything.
Yeah, it didn't say unsafe pit exit.
The rules are... The rules are there to be enforced or not. I set this up for a late afternoon race at Laguna, but it is very possible that qualifier is going to take us into the evening, which would be an interesting twist. Let's see what happens when tech advances the session.
A blind corkscrew in the dark?
It's not blind. You have headlights. 4 of them with lasers on them. Then a little X. It's the whole thing.
They don't point downwards.
What do you mean they don't point downwards? All headlights point downwards.
I mean, the hill, and then the...
Oh, you mean like they don't see they don't see forward through time into the corkscrew? No, that's more of an Audi feature than a Porsche feature.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we are gonna. Oh, nice. Mr. Good, do you still have the McDonald's car? I guess. I love that livery. I love that livery.
Oh, night race.
See, no, this was what we call a night qualifier. Your race is going to be pitch black. Sorry, not sorry.
That's hot.
Oh, those summer California nights. Nothing like them. Nothing like them. So we made 2 decisions at the beginning of this season. The first was that the time is the time, and that's just how it's going to be. And the second is that the weather is the weather, and that's just how it's going to be. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to put Discord audio back on. Thank you. Sorry, remotes. My bad.
This pit is so long.
Once again, we are in a lone qualifier for Feature Race 2, which means the drivers cannot see or collide with each other despite the fact their proximity warnings will go off repeatedly. Who are we looking at here? I was going to say, it's actually dark enough that I'm not sure what car I'm looking at from the distance. Maybe the blimp camera isn't going to do very good for us here. Oh, that's pretty. This view brought to you by Mandatory Chrome from iRacing.com.
Ooh.
I don't mind that they do that. It's actually pretty tasteful.
Oh, the track is
So a little bit of a cut through the corkscrew, but that is a totally legal line. There's a world famous overtake to win the race through the rough in the corkscrew. I think they call it the pass, uncreatively. We are getting green flags, green flags, green flags. We're going to check in on pod 1. Drain says this will be fun, and because I know Drain, I know that he's using my version of the word fun. It's a lot of gravel out there.
Oh, really?
Type 2.55.
Gave me an off.
I
track
didn't
just
realize
for-
that they
I don't even
fine
know
grained
for
that.
what.
I thought you either lived at 2 or 3.
And then I didn't get one when I clearly went way off the track.
Potato Lobster coming up to the corkscrew, the most important turn in his quali. Very nice. Doesn't unsettle it on the way back out. A little late on the throttle, but very, very nice. Good evening, Mojo. How are you? And yes, it is Laguna. The track you just cannot get away from. In fact, it was so overplayed in video games, in my opinion, in my youth, that I actually don't like. Despite liking all of the technical aspects of this track, I just don't like being here. I'm kind of over it. Does that make me a Laguna hipster? God. Thank you. What are we looking at? Duffy on the cork. Very nice. Could have taken that a little bit closer to the inside, but that is a solid line. He's getting some coaching earlier in the session about which tree to point at, and I think that is that line, so that's good. Through the right-hander on the way to the hairpin. I think he's, wrong pod. I think he's going to be taking a real time on this one. Looks like Casey Knight is out without a time, as is Utah crew. Offside finishing at the 126. Duffy with a 146. Potato Lobster with a 134. What happened to Dr. Gould? Is he still out there? Can you find me a Dr. Gould cam, or is that what you have right there? He might have gone out a little bit later to stay away from the proximity warnings, which frankly is a good strategy, I think. Good exit from the corkscrew, keeping his speed through here. Just touched the apex, but not the hot dog. Hey, he touched the hot dog. I said don't touch the hot dog. Well, that's gonna be him out, and I think we're gonna bring everybody in. Let's go see what the numbers were. Give me the numbers. It's gonna be offside out in front with the honor of beginning this night race, followed by Mr. Goat, Potato Lobster, and Duffy. The Utah crew, Casey Knight and Dr. Gould, not knocking out a qualifier on Laguna. Highly surprising. What are they listening to in their headsets? They are listening to a combination of their race cars and the other drivers that are using their steering wheel mounted push to talk buttons. They're all wired up together. So, oh dear, that was a face. Sometimes it's them talking smack to each other. Sometimes it's them talking smack to us. Let's do it. Punch it through. Let's get this race on the road. Potato Lobster deciding to end his qualifying session sideways. Why not, right?
Why'd you advance it? I was on a runner.
Pizza,
Wasn't there
French
left?
fries.
Yes, there was time left.
But you only get two.
You only get 2 laps.
Yeah, I know. I went out late a bit.
And Knight is almost completely fallen over Monterey for Season 4, Episode 2, Feature Race 2.
Where's the drama cam?
Where is Drama Cam tonight? Drama Cam is actually in our remote racers tonight. Can I get give me a roll cage on anyone in the back, honestly. Perfect.
All right, good race, ass.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everybody. I'm pissed.
Hearing lots of engines rev behind me. Did somebody not greet it? Oh, here we go. Ooh, creeping.
Oh, I just earned that.
Offside creeped. Oh, that's gonna cost him a black flag right on launch.
It's all ice cold.
Yeah, it is.
This looks like some peak drama. Let's watch this. Casey Knight pulling ahead, having a good launch, now sitting right behind offside. We are looking at the 1, 2, 3 positions right here. This could be an early fight for the front. Casey Knight not getting in a qualifying time,
Yeah, I'm used to going
but turning in
145 around here.
spicy
Y'all thought it was
laps in
crazy.
practice.
Well, at least you didn't get a black flag first false start.
I watched that happen.
Tom's going by 2. Thank God. I'm gonna win this race.
That's a long way around to the pit, isn't it?
I don't even know where it is. It's just before the last turn.
Yeah, it's.
Sounds like
really
offside
weird
took
pit
his
in there.
black flag.
It's
That's
not obvious.
unfortunate. Casey
Basically,
making
rather
a
than
move,
taking the left, you go like straight.
but it went. But it went away. There we go. Don't take that away from me. That was beautiful.
Oh, in the corkscrew.
Too wide through the corkscrew, coming down, headlights going left and right. Beautiful. That is some clean racing. That is one of the best things I've seen all night.
That's not how you go through the corkscrew.
It's not how you go
Just
through
little
the
up times.
corkscrew.
It's
Clearly how I
sending
go
him
through.
with good luck into the pits
Corkscrews.
so that he can serve his penalty
I
for
get my
jump
20
starting
points
the
like
front.
everybody else. I use them
And that's going to be Potato Lobster now in the
Now
number
there's
2
another
position behind Casey Knight.
My bad.
Oh, I
can't
see a
believe I
racing
did that.
incident. What is the difference between a racing incident and normal racing? Ooh, he could have been tighter through there. Also, that is an awful lot of gravel.
Did you just
Holy
not
shit.
hold launch control or something?
It's like Mr. Goat snuck through while
Hit
we
it when
weren't
it
looking.
turned red.
He's going to get to the inside there with Potato Lobster hot on his heels, a little bit wide, take some gravel, and the Lobster is going to take it back.
Like a noob.
And almost gave him a little rub
my
as a
first
don't do that
race.
again. My goodness.
Well, at least
They're
you're
getting
back
spicy
here
out
with
here on Laguna. We can just see Casey Knight out there in front. I, too, like to see the good fights, Michelle. One of the neat things about this group is that people are usually very, very good about being careful about making sure it's a clean fight and even giving places back when... Ooh. Oh, he locks it! Oh, no!
That was my fault, man. I locked it up.
Oh, no. Hazard, hazard, hazard.
Sorry, man.
You know the
all
moment where my heart plunged is when I saw the yaw stop. It's like, no,
Yep.
he's just sliding through. Oh, dear. Okay, we've had a minor reconfiguration. Let's, oh, Tech, you going to get me a replay on that? What a hero. Tech's going to get us an instant
fucking curb
replay on
twice
that. Let's
now.
keep watching. You can just punch that straight through when you got it.
What the hell?
Ooh. Oh.
Unfortunately slow.
No. Relatively clean exit, though. You know, that could have been much worse.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been so much worse. That's fine. Really is the commentator's curse. We try so hard. One of the things we're probably going to do in a future season, not next season, is move the broadcast booth into a separate space so that they can't hear us talk. Although I do enjoy Mr. Goat giving me shit. Oh, he's deep in thought right now. That might be because he's in the number 2 position. Looks like he's about 14 seconds off Casey Knight. Granted, we're only 4 minutes into the race. Eats a little bit of the hot dog on that, but that's a good one to do that on. And beginning his setup for the corkscrew. Mojo, we talked about that. We like.
That's
Well, now you know where the gravel comes from.
yeah.
Tagged him for that. But Mojo, we talked about doing that. Like, obviously, we've got the camera to do it. Little bit of redemption through the hairpin here. Very nice. Early on the throttle, looking good. Let's pull that back out to the quad. No drama immediately in the quad. Let's go check in on Tech. I believe that's the Potato Lobster mobile coming through the front straight. The Hellman's Mayonnaise car and Potato Lobster having just a little bit of a... Oh, no. Offside going wide to stay out of trouble. Very nice. Both Mr. Goat and offside staying out of trouble. Man, I really dig that McDonald's livery. That's going to put Mr. Goat now in the third position behind Casey Knight and offside, but this is where the fight is. Casey looks like he's turning in maybe 2 seconds worth of pace on top
So
of
much for this
offside right
race.
now, so he can't afford to get bogged down in this fight, but that's the fight he's in. Yeah, Michelle, we learned recently that Casey might be good at motorsports. Which is fine. We take high-skill people here, too. Good exit from the corkscrew. Going to go try and cut this right, get as much of that curb as he can. A little bit wide and into the hairpin. Looking good. Keeping it about 1.5 seconds on offside. Gap to Casey now from his position about 24. Why does the safety car have its own representation out there? That I don't understand. Do we have an answer for that? Weird. All right. Just one of the many mysteries of iRacing. Back into the quad. It looks like Mr. Goat has lost his pace on offside, who is now relatively far ahead. Knight has now completely fallen over Monterey. Excellent through the corkscrew. Very nice. We like to see those. Decent exit. Wide out and in. Gets the curb. Very nice. A little bit of the hot dog, but that's okay. Keeps it under control. Making the left into the hairpin. Big on the brakes. Not as big on the brakes as I would have expected. I think he left something on the table there. And our racers once again self-sorting. Tech found some drama for us. What are we looking at? Ah, the Hellman's Mayonnaise car just coming through. Oh! And he is going to pay for his insolence. Oh, but Dr. Gould also pays for it.
Nah,
It's okay, everybody gets back out there. Nighttime. Come on. You can't do the layups. You got to take more three-pointers. I don't know, Tech, how did they get into that position in the first place? I'm guessing that was Dr. Gould coming through.
Yeah, that one was just, I think Dr. Gould was setting up for the next turn and got on the brakes a little hard.
Come on, Duffy, let's do this.
Gotcha. How were the replay controls? These good?
We need to iterate.
Got it. There will, of course, be a technical staff conference after the race, and we will decide what additional changes we need to make over there to make it faster. I'm just glad the network stack's holding up tonight. Frankly, that's where I'm at.
Rallycross course in turn 1 now.
As we watch the graph spike to 1.5 gig and come back down again.
Oh my God.
Is that truck over there? Can you get out and get in the truck? That'd be cool. Mojo, something that we've noticed in experimentation here is that a lot of our newer drivers tend to benefit greatly from turning it off. We had it administratively forced off last week by accident, but it turns out everybody kind of loved it. So we gave everybody the option this week, and everybody turned it back on or didn't change the setting. So what do you got to do? Haven't checked in on Duffy in a while. Let's take a look at what's going on in the Oscar Mayer Wiener car. That gravel pool just keeps increasing. You'd think they'd take a Zamboni or something out there between laps. That's ridiculous.
Maybe a street sweeper.
Just like a dude with a push broom, right? Like
Yeah.
just anything to get the job done. Thank you, Tech. Exactly, Rella. I think that's Dr. Gould coming up on Mr. Goat, who we're gonna. Yep, that's those headlights. We've put Mr. Goat in a high pressure situation. Let's see how he reacts.
Does not contribute to the rock pile.
Like, you have to treat that as a completely different corner now. Like that's the just like slow down, get to the apex, and stay there. Mojo, what is a NASCAR track dryer?
Is that like the people that run out on the basketball courts and? Oh, okay. A jet engine. I'm for it.
Really? Like for the rain or for like when?
You get an oil down the track, and they need to scrub the oil.
Oh.
So they use the track dryer to burn the salt off.
That's cool. So you can incinerate a race course to make it faster. I like every word of that sentence.
Yeah.
Smooth and aggressive through the corkscrew. Very nice. Coming back around for the left. You had me at truck with jet engine. How are we doing here? We are sitting on approximately 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in feature race number 2. The second race for points for the evening, and of course the final race for the evening on Tonight We Race. Reverse vacuum. I need more reverse vacuums in my life, quite frankly. Oh, I guess that's what my Makita blower is, isn't it? It's literally a reverse vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Turns out I have a reverse vacuum in my life. Never mind. A little bit of drama over in Potato Lobster Land. It looks like he ate the marbles there and also contributed his own new set.
17 incident count.
Rella would like to know when we are racing trucks with jet engines. We are not going to be racing trucks with jet engines, but depending on how much mileage we put on the actuators around episode 5 this season, we may break out the Lucas Oil trucks and we may go back to the Wild West Motorsport park. The reason we don't do that is because it makes the foundation of this building shake when we do it. I can literally hear just dollars leaking out of the hardware as they go. But it's an awful lot of fun.
That's a line.
Yeah, he locked it up. He got bit by the differential lock there. That's probably for those who are relatively familiar with driving something that's approximately the size, shape, and performance of a GT3 car. Differentially locking up the fronts is probably the kill shot on this car. You even get a purple indicator light when it happens, so you can feel bad about itself before it happens. And it's not a, well, I'll just release the pressure a little bit and let them connect back up. Like, no, you need to stop braking and let them connect. It is an abrupt 3-step process. What do you got for me?
We just missed it. Just nothing terrible. Just aborted entry into a turn.
So 4 and 3 are about to come into contact here. That's going to be... Oh, that was the contact.
They are now separated.
We are late to the contact. Mr. Goat coming into the corkscrew frustrated. Still very tidy. A lot of weight transfer happening very quickly. A lot of crap out there, too. I dare say they've made this more difficult on themselves. Less than 5 minutes on the clock. Mr. Goat still in contention here. He can claw back Dr. Gould. Let's just do a standing sweep here with a couple minutes remaining here. We are sitting on Casey Knight in the number 1 position, followed by Offside with about a 35-second gap. Kind of a lot with 5 minutes remaining, followed by Dr. Gould, and that's probably going to be our podium here unless something strange. But the fight of the night is right here because this is the podium position that can change in the next 4.5 minutes. Seeing those taillights and needing to reel them in 4 seconds away. A lot of gravel through here. It's almost a different track. Very nice. Tight turn in. Rapid back on the right. Big on the throttle. Excellent. Dr. Gould coming up to Utah Crew. That works out well for Mr. Goat because this is his opportunity to turn that into time. Utah Crew and Dr. Gould flowing through the hairpin. Mr. Goat right behind him. He can see it. He can smell it. But he's got 3 minutes to bring it home. Can I have a rear shot on Utah Crew, please? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Moot point. It's kind of boring back there now. There we go. That's nice. That's going to be the Hellman's Mayonnaise car speeding away. And now, unfortunately, Mr. Goat needs to deal with the blocker. You know, Utah Crew went into the evening. Thinking that the iRacing bug was going to kill them, but they have been very competitive through this whole thing. And for the first time in a while on Tonight We Race, there is not going to be a local driver on the podium. Mojo, it's kind of silly that they cut those gaps in the first place. Like, why would you remove grip from your tires? It's dumb. Mr. Goat with some excellent pace here. But he's still 6 seconds off Dr. Gould. Duffy manages to point it in the wrong direction in traffic, which may... or may not produce an impact. He had the benefit of the right-hand wing screen to see what was going to happen there, and we did not. We are in the last minute of this race. Potato Lobster and close racing. Locking in behind Casey Knight.
I'm getting a headache in this VR.
For some definition of locking. One of the things I like about watching Casey is there's always one wheel just almost off the track, and that's how you got to do it. You got to use the entire track, or at least all of the track that the marshals will allocate to you. Good entry. Good exit. Could have been a little faster on the throttle, but I suppose the gravel there is making that complicated. White flags all around. We are bringing this feature race number 2 home. Who is going to get there first? And that is going to be a checkered flag for Potato Lobster. Coming across the line and holding position 5. Finishing strong. His best lap, a 1:30. Not bad for your first night race on Laguna. Zooming back out.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the tow, K-Fox.
Hey, no problem. Hope you enjoyed it.
Duffy going to be on his final lap here. Mr. Goat for his last run through the corkscrew.
Good race.
Nice aggressive on the first.
Oh, my head.
Into
Oh,
the
my eyes.
minefield.
I looked away from
Into
my
the mineral
monitor,
bath.
Coming out of the corkscrew, and I got super
Authentic, handcrafted spa experiences for cars.
I can imagine that.
It's a different track.
Final hairpin. Spa.
Thank
Spa.
God this race is over. Jesus.
Franker champs.
That was a time.
And across the line for Mr. Goat. Who's still out there? I think Duffy's still out there. He's making the right-hander out of the corkscrew, and he's
I
going
only
to
spun out
line up
once,
his
so I
hairpin.
feel okay about that.
I can't believe I
Nice
false started.
hairpin.
I didn't.
A little late on the throttle, but that's okay.
I watched it happen. I was just like, oh shit.
Clown shoes.
Oh, man.
And that is going to be on the night race at Laguna, Casey Knight in the #1 position, followed by Offside and
Yeah,
Dr.
I had to
Gould
drive
for
through.
our podium. Mr. Goat, Potato Lobster,
That was
the
fun,
Utah
though.
crew,
Did you
and
just,
Duffy
like, inch
bringing it in
forward,
for
or-
everyone.
Mhm.
And that is going to
Okay.
be
I let the clutch go and
the last
popped
race
forward and was like, oh.
of Tonight
just
We
like-
Race.
it was a
I would
super
like to
slow
remind
creep.
you, I think I have a slide for this.
Uh-huh.
I would like to
And then I
remind you
was like,
that
oh, I gotta hit the brake
Tonight
to
We Race
stop.
is a community
I saw you thinking
activity.
about, like,
We
backing
source
back
our
up or
content
something.
from
I
the
was like,
community,
nope,
source
man.
our drivers from the community, and of course, We Race as a community. And if you'd like to be part of that community, the place that you do that is on the Discord, which is what this big old QR code is. We would love to see you out there or just to shoot the shit with. And in the meantime, that means we are done. So I'm going to punch the end show button. Thank you, everyone. Fantastic race. We are going to meet everyone for... Are we in Europe next week?
You tell me.
I don't have the... Do you see a schedule in front of me? We're going to France. It's France. It's Europe week next week. We will see you Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific for episode 3 of Tonight We Race. See you then, and take care. Spa's an amazing track. I adore Spa. Nice show, everyone. Way to go.
That was fun.
That was some great racing.
Much better than the first race.
I'm really glad I racing
In the dark. In the
Is there supposed to be end music playing?
I